the man casually released an arrow, and it pierced cleanly through the hole of a coin 100 meters away, then struck firmly in the center of the target. And this scene left the onlookers frozen in shock, unable to understand how the coach, once called a loser by the previous champion, could possess such incredible skill. Little did they know, the man's true identity was that of the masked champion who had vanished 3 years ago. Because of an enemy's revenge, he was involved in a car accident 3 years ago. To uncover the truth behind it, he hid his identity and joined a failing archery club as a simple archery coach. His only student was his girlfriend, Lisa. Today was the day Lisa competed in the city archery tournament. The man had planned that after the competition, he would propose to her. But right after Lisa won the championship, during her interview, she denied their relationship and even humiliated him, calling him a worthless man. Because before the competition, she had already gotten together with a top club's coach. To gain more benefits and fame, she betrayed him and joined the elite club. The only reason she had stayed with him before was to learn all his archery skills. Now that she had won the championship, Lisa felt he was no longer useful and directly announced their breakup. Little did she know, she had never fully mastered his techniques. The man, who had planned to teach her the final skill after marriage, now felt a wave of relief. Watching the cold-hearted couple walk away, he could only find it ridiculous and completely lost hope in Lisa. But when he returned to the club, he saw the girl who had competed against Lisa, the one who had been expelled from the top club due to a wrist injury. Hearing the girl say she was willing to give anything just to pick up her bow again, the man's hope rekindled. This made the man, who had sworn never to take another student, consider training again. So when the old coach tried to send the girl away, the man finally stepped forward and persuaded him to take her in, but the old coach refused, because under their current situation they couldn't afford to train new students. With only 7 days left before the club's assessment, it was impossible to train a qualified student. If the club shut down, taking her in would only ruin her future. Besides, they were rivals of the top club, yet the man refused to give up and asked what it would take for the coach to accept her. Seeing how determined they were, the old coach finally gave them a chance. They had to use the ancestral traditional bow and arrow to shoot through a coin 100 meters away. If they succeeded, the club would allow the girl to stay. The girl stared at the old man in shock, but the man picked up the bow without hesitation. He steadied himself and aimed at the coin. Just when everyone thought it was impossible, the arrow flew clean through the coin and struck the bullseye behind it. From that day on, the girl began training under him. Her first lesson was to shoot at a covered target. At first, she kept missing, not even grazing the edge of the target. When she thought her wrist injury was to blame, the man told her it was all in her mind. She was trapped by the memory of her injury. Hearing that, she tried again, but still couldn't hit it. Just when everyone thought she'd fail again, she finally hit the target. The next evening, the man introduced a tougher drill. He strapped sandbags to her body, and after an hour of drawing the bow, she had to remove them and shoot again. As expected, without the extra weight, her arrow hit close to the bullseye. The students finally understood the man's intent. This very skill was the 10th archery technique he had never taught Lisa. Soon came the day of the club's qualification review. Students from the top club arrived with the president of the sports association. The girl, however, still wore even heavier sandbags. Hearing Lisa's mocking words, the girl wanted to remove them, but the man stopped her. But with such heavy weights and strong winds, she could hardly aim accurately. Indeed, her first arrow missed completely. As the crowd mocked her, her confidence wavered. But after hearing the old coach's encouragement, she lifted her bow again. This time, it hit the target, but only scored 7 points. Feeling she had failed her coach, guilt overwhelmed her. As a result, her third arrow struck the ground. Just as the president was about to declare their failure, which would mean the club's closure, the man suddenly spoke up. He stated that according to the committee's rules, they still had one more chance to challenge Lisa, the city champion. If their combined scores were higher, the club would retain its qualification for future tournaments. Hearing this, Lisa's coach mocked the man right away, calling them a bunch of losers who could never beat Lisa. But the president, following the rules, approved the challenge. He told them to proceed with the match. However, only 10 minutes remained before the girl could remove the sandbags. Seeing this, the other trainees decided to delay for her, asking to compete against Lisa first. Confident she wouldn't lose, Lisa agreed immediately. Watching the trainees' arrows hit only the edges, Lisa paid them no attention, and soon claimed another easy win. Finally, it was the girl's turn. The man personally removed her sandbags, readying her for the final match.